വിഷ്ണു ലൈവ് ആയോ എന്ന് നോക്കണേ. ഞാൻ ലൈവ് ആയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ജസ്റ്റ് ഓഡിയോ വീഡിയോ ഫൈൻ ആണെങ്കിൽ നോക്കാം. Welcome everyone to the 39th episode of the SCT North America podcast. Today we have with us Anand Bose, who's from the 2000 batch computer science. നമുക്ക് ഇതുവരെ ഉള്ളതിൽ ഏറ്റവും സീനിയർ മോസ്റ്റ് ആളാണ്. We are very happy and honored to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think we can get started. We'll introduce the guests first, and the host first, and then we can get to Anand. So I'm Atul from the 2008-2012 batch, Electronics and Communication, currently working as a software engineer at Cisco. Anjali or Hari?
Hi, I'm Anjali. I'm from Biotechnology 2008 to 2012 batch. I'm currently working as a postdoctoral researcher here at Johns Hopkins in Maryland.
Hi, I'm Hari. I'm 2008-2012 batch computer science. And I work for Amazon as engineering manager.
Hello everyone, I'm Vishnu from the 2008-12 batch Electronics and Communication at SCT. ഞാനിപ്പോൾ കാലിഫോർണിയയിൽ HCL ടെക്കിൽ സപ്ലൈ ചെയിൻ കൺസൾട്ടന്റ് ആയിട്ട് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നു.
Yeah, and Anand, if you can give a quick intro.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Anand Bose. ഞാൻ 96 to 2000 computer science batch ആണ്. So I passed out in 2000, been around for a while, and right now I'm working with Amazon Web Services as a senior solution architect in their partner network group, on the sales side, obviously. So yeah, so that's pretty much a brief introduction of me.
Yeah, I think if anyone wants to get started, can ask.
Yeah, I can kick off. I think it's a long 23 years, I think. So can you go through your experience journey?
Sure. So as you know, like we were the second batch in our college. So predominantly at that point we didn't have much campus options. So we went through an organization called Shreds, who used to conduct these off-campus interviews and process. And then I got into Infosys through them. So I started my career journey with Infosys. I worked in Infosys from 2000 to 2004 as a software engineer. So predominantly Infosys is a services company, as you all know. So we get to work with various clients. And at that point, I was working for clients in Europe. And during the time with Infosys, I had a chance to go to Brussels, work for one of the clients called Belco Mobile. So basically, my journey, I would say, in Infosys was more on the technical aspect rather than the business domain aspect, because the clients I worked for, I was basically concentrating on the technology part rather than the domain side. So after Infosys, I moved on to Accenture for a short stint because I thought, okay, hey, it's been 4 years already, so let me just start looking out and see what other options are there. And again, that's also consulting and services side. I didn't like the stint much there, so I was there briefly for like seven months, and then I moved on to. I thought, okay, hey, now I'm in Chennai. I went from Chennai to Bangalore. Let me go to north of India. So I don't know why I took that decision, but I switched my job to a company called Infogate in Noida, Delhi. And then again, my focus was more on the technical. So at that point, I was working in an EA technology called TIPCO. So that was getting predominantly popular at that point of time, like in 2005, 2006 time frame, right? About Noida Poi, then worked there for a year and a half. But then, for those of you who have not worked in the northern side of India, it will be a culture shock when you go there, because you can clearly relate two different worlds. It's like your office will be off.
Is it the work culture is different, or
work culture is different, as well as the outside culture is also different. Like for example, when in Chennai or in Bangalore, how do you go to work? You either take an Uber or an auto rickshaw and you can go to work, right? Here, it's all cycle rickshaws at that point. I was talking about 2005, 2006. So that's like two parallel worlds. So very, very interesting. And the HR, the way they work in at that point in North was different from the HR in South. HR in North is very professional. Sorry, in South is very professional, but in North it's really not. They're like, okay, could you make some adjustments? Could adjust kar sakta hai?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those kind of things. Yeah. So it was very interesting. So yeah, again, I worked there for probably a couple of maybe a year and a half, and then I got an opportunity, and then I moved back to Bangalore. So it's a very small startup. It was a company called Teskra, and they were basically a startup associated with TIPCO. So TIPCO again is a product company. They build EAI products, and Teskra was a premier partner for TIPCO. So I joined them, and initially I went to work for them in Czech Republic. Work for some clients. Work for EDS.
So maybe one question before we go forward. So TIPCO, is it like SAP? It's a product like SAP, and you integrate it and implement? Like?
Yeah. So TIPCO is more like I don't know whether you heard about MuleSoft.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an integration bus. So if you want to integrate between multiple applications, TIPCO was the place to go at one point. Yeah, it was, and then the other products started zooming up in the market, like MuleSoft, which is now brought by Salesforce, right? So yeah, so and then at some point, TIPCO went through a lot of changes. It was owned by, it went to a PE firm. So after that, things started changing a lot. So when a private equity acquires a product company,
they start slashing.
Yeah, they start slashing. So it's all about Excel sheet, right? It's like a number in the Excel sheet. So so the innovations stopped. So when innovations stop, you know what happens, right? Like the product loses traction in the market because customers are asking, "Hey, it's the same thing. You are just it's like let me chapati pala shape like the same product you're putting in different shapes and selling it to me, right? What's the point, right? How do I you're not adding any value. It's the same thing, right? So customers started shopping for more options, and that's when all these MuleSoft in the market. It's a cloud product, right? I think they were the first cloud integration product. They have built everything from scratch on the cloud, and that was a selling point, right? Hey, ours is a SaaS product. It's on the cloud. You can just, or you can put it on-prem as well, and that's where they gain traction. TIPCO took some time to get onto the cloud journey. And they don't have all the products on cloud, but they are solid on-prem, but not really much on the cloud. But they started going there. So yeah. So after 2005, I mean 2006 was when I came to US through Teskra, and I started working with TIPCO folks. So basically, Teskra is they being a premier SI for TIPCO. We work directly with the TIPCO folks. So that's where I gained a lot of expertise. So I landed in New Jersey. I was working in New York for a client. And so there I spent almost a year and a half with them. And then I switched from Teskra to another company called Proficient. So yeah, if you look at it, if you look at my
you worked at a lot of places.
I've jumped around because for me, it's like once it gets monotonous, I start getting that itch of moving on. So as long as it's not monotonous for me, I keep I'm happy. So
how many? Just curious, how many companies in total have you worked at right now?
Honestly, very good question. So I don't know, man. I have to count, but I think it would be less than 10, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah. I always feel like when you switch jobs, you get to work on new things. Other thing is you get a bigger salary hike when you jump a job. Like our company promotion getting a hike every year, it will be very minimal. But if a company you can go if it's a product company 100% hike cases on, right?
Yeah. That I want to talk about that actually, product companies. Right? So I never worked for a product company. This is the first time I'm working for a product company. But I've never worked for a product company before this. Right? Most of my companies are services company, and previous to AWS, I was working for a company called CoreLogic. It's a, you can call them a semi-product company because they kind of build out products for based on property. Like they most of the chances are if you have a home and it's mortgage, they pay your property taxes on your behalf. If you have a mortgage and if it's escrow, yeah.
And
I
how
know
long
it's
you
undergone.
AWS?
AWS, I think now it's about 7.5, almost 8 months now. Yeah.
8 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a fresher in AWS compared to you, Hari. So
7 months is enough. Like with your experience, like after 6 months, like everybody is experienced.
Yeah, that's a motto here in AWS. After 6 months, yeah, you're experienced.
The other thing that I can say, നിങ്ങളുടെ സ്റ്റോക്ക് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഇനി കുറേ സമയം ബാക്കിയുണ്ട്.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Let's not go into that topic.
Yeah, I love. Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I had a follow-up question. So now, Namalipam, you graduated at the height of the dot-com boom and the bust, like 2000, 2001. And then 2008 you saw the recession, and then pandemic in samayathanengilum there was tech wasn't impacted. In fact, tech had a boom in during the pandemic. So how has it been navigating our initially getting a job in the 2008 recession? Like, have you felt that were you impacted, or did you know friends that were impacted, and how did they deal with that?
Yeah, so it's always tough to talk about that topic, right? So I was lucky because 2000 was, as you said, it's a boom. So and I graduated in 2000, and I was able to land a job in 2000. And 2001 was when people started getting impacted. See, one was there was a slowdown in US, and on top of it, that bad incident, the 9/11 happened, right? Because of which there was a very, very bad impact. A lot of projects were being stopped or put on pause. People who graduated in 2001, 2002, they rescinded the offers. Like companies like Infosys, Wipro, and even like a lot of US companies who had offshore offices in India. So that kind of so that was the impact in 2001, 2002, and Europe was always been consistent, but Europe is always slow when it comes to work. So Europe was not very much impacted, but definitely a lot of US clients were impacted, and the US projects were impacted. Especially, I can say from the Infosys standpoint, yes. Yeah, so navigating through that, I mean, it's other point, keep faith, be confident on your abilities and more, right. So that's all. I mean, especially when you're a fresher, it's very and when you have not even started working, right, it's very tough to. So a lot of people who waited out, and 2003, I think 2002 end and 2003, that's when they started getting back to work, and they moved on. 2008 was a very interesting because I switched my job in US in 2008. I landed in Dallas. So that's when I moved from New Jersey to Dallas, right? Yeah. So again, that's a big shock, a big cultural change again. So if you look at New Jersey, it's more like working in a busy place, right? You work in New York. Dallas is all laid back. Right, and when you look at the cost wise, also it's much cheaper, laid back, and cheaper, and the rent you pay, you get double the space what you are getting in New Jersey. So I was like, wow, man, this is US.
That's the American dream, right?
That's it. Yeah, I thought so. That's the American dream, right? And then 2008, when I started working, 3 months down, there was and this was a pure consulting firm. Proficient is a pure consulting company, right? And what I heard, they don't keep people on bench for more than 2 weeks. So if you are on bench for more than 2 weeks, then pretty much you're out.
Okay.
So 2008 was when the recession hit. US, the housing market crash and all, right? So that compounded, and all companies they stopped investing in projects, and then that's when consulting companies started getting affected, and there were like very heavy layoffs, and I had friends who were on H1 who got stuck in India because they went to India for a vacation. They had wanted to do the stamping. So it was pretty much a norm at that point. Like people were getting stampings without any issues. I don't know how many of you are on H1, but it was a very tough situation at that point. H1 ആണെങ്കിൽ ജോലി പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞ് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ലൈക്ക് ആ
30 days,
സമയത്ത്
right?
എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നില്ല 30 days ഇല്ലായിരുന്നു ആ സമയത്ത്.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It was immediate. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. പിന്നെ പലരും GCയുടെ പ്രോസസ്സ് തുടങ്ങിയിരുന്നു. And I think those people were also impacted. Like അവരെ left and then like there's nothing remaining, right? So people who went to India got stuck. കുറെ പേര് എനിക്കറിയാവുന്ന they were stuck for almost 8 to 9 months. Because when they filed for their renewal, admin query vanu, even though the documents were there, because I think at that point they were instructed not to do H1s because people here are losing jobs. Why are you getting people H1, right? So that was the thing. So yeah, again at that point, a lot of people, they took up jobs in India. Even though the market here was doing bad, I think in India it was doing okay. So people who went back, they got jobs there, and avare cheyda smartness nu parayna, they worked in India for 2 years, then they came back on L1A.
Oh, okay.
And got their green cards in a year. So yeah. So it's like sometimes these things happen for good.
Basically,
you
have to find some way out of it, right? Like
you have to find some way out. So it's like, because that's when you start thinking out of the box. Because when you are impacted, that's when because at this point you are in a comfort zone, but when you are impacted, that's when you start thinking. You have to think out of the box. There's no other option, right? And that worked out well for a lot of people. Actually, a lot of my friends who came back here, they got thesis, and I was on EV2, the second category. Yeah. So that's how.
Did you feel? ഞാനും അന്ന് ലേ ഓഫ് ആയിരുന്നു കൊള്ളായിരുന്നു.
അത് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ലല്ലോ. അവര് സ്മാർട്ട് ആയതുകൊണ്ട് they went into that. Like I don't know what I would have thought at that point, right? So every person thinks differently. So but my point is like even if that happens, it might be for the good, right? Most of the folks whom I know who are impacted, they went on to become much better, actually. Yeah, because it gives you a good, you start thinking of other things. It's not just your job, right?
Yeah. And one thing we've heard is that in recession summit, when people get laid off from big tech companies, they tend to go and start smaller companies, which become like unicorn startups and also. Like it should always be seen as an opportunity. Like there's a lot of tension and all, but eventually some great things come out of these recessions also.
Some great things, exactly. That's what I've seen. Like people have done well, who are all let go, right? They have done well, actually.
Yeah. Vishnu, do you wanna go ahead?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions, Cheta. So since you are from the 1996-2000 batch at SCT, right? How was the college life like back then? ഇപ്പം നമ്മുടെ ഇപ്പം പഠിച്ചിറങ്ങുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്ന ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റീസ് ഇപ്പം നമ്മൾ 2008-2012 ഇറങ്ങിയപ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് we do remember that there were options for us to go for higher studies, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ MBA, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പിന്നെ നമ്മൾ ജോലിക്ക് കയറുക. ബാക്ക് ദെൻ ഹൗ വാസ് ദ സിറ്റുവേഷൻ? കാരണം 2000 കോളേജിൽ നിന്ന് ആദ്യമായിട്ട് ഇറങ്ങുന്ന കുട്ടികൾക്ക് എന്തായിരുന്നു അവൈലബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റീസ്? അന്നത്തെ സമയത്ത് എന്തൊക്കെയായിരുന്നു കോളേജിലെ വിശേഷങ്ങൾ?
So yeah, one good thing, one thing which we lacked, some of the lack is career guidance അത്രയില്ലായിരുന്നു. Because ഞങ്ങൾ സെക്കൻഡ് ബാച്ച് ആയിരുന്നല്ലോ. അതുകൊണ്ട് സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് തന്നെ ഇനിഷ്യേറ്റീവ് എടുത്തു. ഇപ്പം ഞങ്ങളുടെ ക്ലാസ്സിൽ നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മൾ ചെന്നൈ, ബാംഗ്ലൂർ എല്ലായിടത്തും പോയി വി സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് റാൻഡംലി അപ്ലൈങ് ഫോർ കമ്പനീസ്. ആൻഡ് നമ്മുടെ കൂട്ടത്തിലുള്ള കുറച്ച് പേർക്ക് they were able to get interviews and some were even able to get through. So that's when we realized like, okay, hey, there is a world outside. I mean, like initially it's like we have to kickstart on our own. Like we can't just sit around and wait for someone to come and give a job, right? അത് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഓപ്ഷൻ ഇല്ലായിരുന്നു നമുക്ക്. അതാണ് ഇപ്പത്തെ ഈ സ്ട്രെറ്റ്സ് നമ്മുടെ കോളേജിൽ പോയി രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്തു. അത് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് നമ്മള് ബാച്ചിലെ ആൾക്കാരാണ് പോയി രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്തത്. അതെ. And after we passed out, എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് every year, we had a bad incident during our in 96 to 2000, where two of our batchmates passed. So we have a program going on under their name every year on August 15th. അപ്പൊ ആ സമയത്ത് we'll get somebody from outside to give career guidance and ഒരു outside speaker എന്തായാലും ഉണ്ടാവും.
Yeah, I think that's still going on. Like
that's still going on. Arunanish Memorial Award. That's still going on. Yeah. So that's initiated by our batch. They are actually our classmates. And this incident happened in 2001. That time. Yeah. Anyway, so there were a lot of initiatives, and I think that turned the wheel. So to your question, yeah, initially നമുക്ക് അങ്ങനെ വലിയ കൈക്കടികൾ എങ്ങനെയും ഒരു ജോലി ഒപ്പിക്കുക, അതാണ് that was our thought process at that point, right? But now there are a lot of options, right? Okay, hey, if you want to do higher studies, you can go for GRE, TOEFL, come into States. Also, there are options in Canada, UK, everywhere, right? In India, like if you want, I know that some of your batchmates are IIM graduates, so those options were there. അതൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ ജോലി കയറി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ we started thinking about it. Right?
Yeah, I think one of the objectives of this podcast is also like എന്തൊക്കെ opportunities available ആണ്. Like we also like even though you say that ഞങ്ങളുടെ ബാച്ചിൽ we know about some things, നമുക്ക് അത്രയ്ക്ക് ക്ലാരിറ്റി ഇല്ലായിരുന്നു. ലൈക് തേർഡ് ഇയർ ഫോർത്ത് ഇയർ ലൈക് പാസ് ഔട്ട് ആയി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടാണ് ഓക്കെ ഇങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ ചെയ്യാം എന്നുള്ളൊരു ഐഡിയ വന്നത്. പക്ഷേ ത്രൂ ദിസ് പോഡ്കാസ്റ്റ് അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് വി ആർ ട്രൈങ് ടു ഗെറ്റ് ലൈക് what are different things that you can do.
Correct, exactly. Yeah, so management, if you are not really into engineering, yeah, management is a very good option, right? You have IIMs, you have XLRIs in India, and then outside also, right? You can pursue that, right? Not just in India. Yeah, and again, from a cost perspective, I think India is still probably the cheapest of all. But one advantage of studying in US is like the alumni network ഭയങ്കര നല്ലതാണ്. Like if you do higher studies here, that alumni network will help you in your career journey. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like ഞാൻ ഇന്റേൺഷിപ്പ് നോക്കിയ സമയത്ത് I couldn't find anybody from SCT to reach out to. പക്ഷേ ഞാൻ പഠിച്ച മാസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് കോളേജ് UCF-ലെ there were a lot of people I could reach out to. കാരണം they are very strong on LinkedIn or wherever. But it's easier to find people and get in contact. And ഒരു റെഫറൽ ആണെങ്കിലും ഇപ്പം നമ്മൾ ഈ കോളേജിനാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ റെഫറൽ കിട്ടാൻ വളരെ എളുപ്പമാണ്. ലൈക്ക് ദേ ആർ മോർ ദാൻ ഹാപ്പി. ഇപ്പം SCT-ലെ ഒരു ജൂനിയർ എന്നോട് ഒരു റെഫറൽ ചോദിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഐ വിൽ ഡു ഇറ്റ് ഹാപ്പിലി, റൈറ്റ്? പക്ഷേ ആ ഒരു ഇതും ഇല്ല. സോ വി ഷുഡ് വർക്ക് ഓൺ ദാറ്റ്.
Yeah, we should work on our event. Like I know that SCT like there are people in my batch who are in good positions here in Amazon and all, right? So they can help out if you reach out to them.
Right.
That's for sure. Yeah, but നമ്മുടെ ബാച്ചിലുണ്ട്, senior ബാച്ചിലുണ്ട്, like people in Microsoft or other companies. So you can definitely reach out to them. They will help you as much as they can. Yeah, but as I said, right, like if the network, ഇവിടുത്തെ യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി നെറ്റ്വർക്ക് വേറെ like very very strong. Yeah.
അത് അമേരിക്കക്കാരെ സമ്മതിക്കണം.
Yeah.
Anjali, if you want to ask.
Yeah. So ആനന്ദ് പല ലൊക്കേഷനിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ലൈക്ക് ഇന്ത്യയിൽ തന്നെ നോർത്തിലും സൗത്തിലും വർക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്, പിന്നെ യൂറോപ്പിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്, US-ൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. So അത് ലൈക്ക് കമ്പയർ ആൻഡ് കോൺട്രാസ്റ്റ് പോലെ ചെയ്യാവോ? ലൈക്ക് വിച്ച് വൺ ഡു യു പേഴ്സണലി പ്രിഫർ? ലൈക്ക് അങ്ങനെ.
So I can Europe I can talk about it because Europe when I worked in 2002 and 2005. So 2002 I worked in Brussels, Belgium. The thing with Europe is they will connect with you if you talk in their local language. But the local language they connect you, they'll appreciate you also. And I had to be in some meetings where they talked in French, and then they looked at me and, oh, Anand, you should pick up French. So I mean, you can't really blame them either, right? Because if you look at the history, it's been like that, right? Like they're very proud of their language and culture.
And England was an enemy also.
എല്ലായിടത്തും പ്രശ്നമാണ് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിനെ കേട്ടാൽ നമ്മൾ മലയാളം സംസാരിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ they will appreciate you more than talking in English. അപ്പൊ അവിടെ അങ്ങനത്തെ പ്രോബ്ലം is always there in Europe. And one thing is Europe management ആണെങ്കിൽ, if you are on the management side, you have to know English in most of the companies. So അതാണ് like because അവരുടെ communication, they don't have that infrastructure as India or other countries. അത്രയ്ക്ക് ramp up ചെയ്യാൻ അവർക്ക് പറ്റില്ല ടീംസിന് to do the development, right? So they need to communicate with the outside world. അപ്പൊ അതവരുടെ ഒരു challenge ആണ്. And there are people who act as a conduit between their business, who talks only in their local language, and and the Indian team. So there is a good scope for them. Like they are called techno-functional consultants, technical and functional consultants.
I think Vishnu, Nigeria's Joridapam, you had a local that you used to interface with, right? Like, so I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, translator ആയിട്ട് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, but that wasn't like a very hardcore tech or അങ്ങനത്തെ റോൾ അല്ലായിരുന്നു.
Okay,
so it was basically for communicating. Like ഞാനിപ്പം I used to speak to my supervisors in English. They used to communicate in the local language. To our business partners there. അങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു. But yeah, it makes sense. ആനന്ദേട്ടൻ പറഞ്ഞത്, I think യൂറോപ്പിൽ it helps to kind of know the local language. I think French and German are the two major languages in Europe, അല്ലേ?
French, German. Then I worked in the second time. I worked in Czech Republic.
Russian. Okay, it's a different.
Right.
The client was German, but the place I worked was in Czech Republic. I was working for EDS team in Czech Republic. So very, very interesting. They are very proud, even though it's economically they are not as strong, but they are very proud of their language. Yeah. Yeah.
Czechoslovakia Europe was previously USSR, right? Soviet.
In the Czechoslovakia, in the Slovakia Republic, Czech Republic. Yeah. I was in Prague at somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. So very interesting towns and all, nice, beautiful places, but to live there, it's not easy. So, ഒരു batchmate ഉണ്ട്, Naveen എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ, he lives in Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
So you should actually talk to him. And I think he speaks fluent Dutch. His kids speak fluent Dutch.
Oh, okay.
So you have to adapt in that way to that. You have to embrace that culture. It's not easy. When it comes to US adapting, I think it is the most easiest place to adapt. Right? Even compared to Noida, US was much easier. The Bangalore, or Chennai culture, work culture, right? It's easy to adapt the work culture. Pretty much everybody speaks. I mean, we speak fluently. They appreciate us, and then that really helps out here. Yeah.
So Hari had to take a call, so that's why he's not talking. I had a question around. So, being in the industry for so long, how is a typical interview like? Where a company interview because like software engineering, you get asked more of design level questions. It won't be basic like at your level of experience, what are the conversations like? Because it will mostly be about maybe like cultural fit and what you bring to the table, and so I don't know, so that's what I wanted like.
Yeah, so very good question. So it depends on which company you interview for. Product companies definitely you'll have to have system design capabilities. The technical side plus a little bit on the sales side, right? So solution architect, right? So I have to be strong on the system design aspect. The system design Then there is a cultural fit. Then there is a leadership skills also, right? They evaluate whether you can, from your previous experience, whether you can navigate an organization. If a client നമ്മൾ എടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, they'll have a business team, simple business team or the IT team on. So are you capable enough to navigate both the teams? Have you, in your past, have you been through challenges where you have to talk to a business and convince them that, okay, hey, this is the right technology, you have to invest? How did you convince them? So anganathe questions ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ടാവും at this level, right? That's what they look for. Like, they look for people who are able to navigate an organization, get into that, and then find the right people. That is very important. Like, for Namalapam, maybe the people you are interfacing initially, they are not the right people. So you have to judge that quickly.
Maybe they're not decision makers, right?
They may be decision makers for that specific thing, but you have to sometimes they don't agree with you. You have to circumvent them and then get to the right people. Avadeyana challenge, like, how quickly you are able to grasp that, and then move on to identify other people, right? And then make connections with them. So even though you're technical, you're expected to do that at this level, because it's all about how you navigate an organization. That's what I felt from the interviews, my previous interviews before I joined AWS. So that's the kind of questions you get.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ സിറ്റുവേഷനിൽ അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു ലെവലിലോട്ട് എത്തിയിട്ടില്ല. ലൈക്ക് എനിക്ക് സംടൈംസ് ഐ ഗെറ്റ് ഇമെയിൽസ് ഫ്രം ദീസ് SaaS companies. Hey Atul, we have this wonderful product, you should definitely use it. അപ്പം I don't reply. രണ്ടാമത്തെ, I think, like, I am not the decision maker here. You're talking to the wrong person. So you have to identify the right person that can
Right person. Yeah, but I would suggest you to it's okay that you tell them that, see, I may not be the right person, but I would like to take a meeting with you and know about your product. There's nothing wrong in that.
Right.
See, that's how you build connections, right? It's okay not to. Then you tell them, okay, I don't think we are interested. And you can because if you're not if it is of some use to your organization, if it makes sense, you can actually push to the right person. There you build a connect. Yeah, there you build a connect, right? So yeah, so like, that's what I've been trying to do. Like, I always try to grow connections, and that will really help you.
Okay. Yeah, Vishnu or Anjali, if you want to ask.
ഞാൻ ചോദിക്കാം. സോ ലൈക്ക് ഞാൻ ബയോടെക്നോളജി ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ടിൽ നിന്നാണ്. സോ എനിക്ക് നിങ്ങൾ പറയുന്ന കുറെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിലാവുന്നില്ല. ബട്ട് ലൈക്ക് ഇപ്പം ബയോടെക്നോളജിയുടെ കാര്യം പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ, നമ്മളിപ്പം ബിടെക്കിന്റെ കരിക്കുലവും അതൊക്കെ എടുത്ത് നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ, ഞാൻ ഇപ്പോൾ ചെയ്യുന്നതുമായിട്ട് വലിയ ലിങ്ക് ഇല്ല. സോ ലൈക്ക് നമ്മൾ ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി പഠിച്ചു, അത് കോമ്പറ്റേറ്റീവ് എക്സാംസ് ക്ലിയർ ചെയ്യാൻ യൂസ് ആയി എന്നല്ലാണ്ട്, ലൈക്ക് ഒരു കരിയർ ഗൈഡൻസ് എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ അഡീഷണലി എന്തൊക്കെ സ്കില്ല് വേണം ആ കോമ്പറ്റേറ്റീവ് എക്സാംസ് ക്ലിയർ ചെയ്യാൻ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എന്തൊക്കെ അവന്യൂസ് ഉണ്ട് ബിടി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് എന്നൊരു വലിയ ഇത് നമുക്ക് പഠിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല, ബിടെക് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത്. അപ്പം നിങ്ങളുടെ ലൈൻ ഓഫ് വർക്കിൽ ഇപ്പൊ ബിടെക് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന കുട്ടികൾക്ക് ലൈക്ക് എന്താ പറയാ, ഡു യു തിങ്ക് ലൈക്ക് കരിക്കുലം അല്ലാണ്ട് എക്സ്ട്രാ എന്തൊക്കെ സ്കിൽസ് ബിടെക്കിന്റെ കൂടെ ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യാം ഇൻ ഓർഡർ ടു ലൈക്ക് ഗെറ്റ് ഇൻ ടു ഗുഡ് കമ്പനീസ്? അങ്ങനത്തെ എന്തെങ്കിലും എക്സ്ട്രാ സ്കിൽസ് ഉണ്ടോ കരിക്കുലത്തിൽ ഇല്ലാത്തത്?
Definitely. First of all, curriculum is designed by people who maybe I always, it's like ഒരു 6-7 വർഷമെങ്കിലും മിനിമം പുറകോട്ടാണ് അല്ലെ. They are not up to, it's not always, never up to date with what is required in the current market. If nobody is going to introduce ChatGPT curriculum, right? So those are all things which you have to pick it up, or you have to figure out on your own. But like like, for example, the alumni association, right? They can actually, this is what I've been telling my friends also, like, but interview preparation kit, like a program, right, where you can actually coach those people with the skills they need to get into a company. So once you are into a company, then it's your own, right? You can then jumpstart your career. But again, this can go on, right? Like, I mean, you can use them to build the next set of questions, and that's a cycle.
Mm.
Like that'll be really, really useful for any fresher. Like, do you have kind of with the curriculum, whatever we have studied? I don't think it was that useful. It just it's a launch pad.
Mm.
Product companies, as well as SC, a lot of these algorithms, data structures, and all will be very, very useful. But in my case, it was a services company. Okay, the client will come and say, okay, you this is what you want. Nobody is going to apply data. Nobody is thinking about that, right? You just build this out, and you're done with it, right?
See, even in services companies, like communication is still a very big skill, right?
Communication is a very big skill.
Yeah,
Communication is a very big skill.
nobody even talks about നമ്മൾ കോളേജ് പഠിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത്. ബട്ട് വൺസ് യു ഗെറ്റ് ഇൻ, ലൈക്ക് ഫർഗെറ്റ് കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ, നമ്മുടെ ചെയ്യുന്ന വർക്ക് ഹൈലൈറ്റ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് we should work for that. Our manager is not going to do it, right? So അതൊന്നും നമുക്ക് പറഞ്ഞു തരത്തില്ല.
Soft skills is very important. Communication, verbal and written, right? Even written communication, like when you write an email, I still see people using short are you there in official emails, right? So that comes naturally when you are writing emails like that, right? So our culture embody and samayadu. It's like, so that's where, like, all this, you're absolutely right. Like, idakka nammal starting ile build either a parallel track, right? You spend probably 3 hours a week on this, or 2 hours a week on this. That's good enough. And then give some assignments to the students, on the written verbal communication. Basically develop their soft skills as well as develop their technical skills for what when they pass out, right? What the current market is for, right? Cloud and AI, artificial intelligence, and all. Just prepare them for it.
Yeah, I think Vishnu is working with one of our seniors to session നടത്താനായിട്ട് on AI ML. I think that will be useful for, like, what are the career paths, and ആ career pathലോട്ട് പോകാനായിട്ട് what do you need to learn. So Anjali പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ, like, that is actually outside of college. Like, കോളേജിൽ ഞാൻ പഠിപ്പിക്കത്തില്ല. She's actually, like, women in AI ഒരു big representative and supporter. So we're trying to get her on, like, students in a career orientation. Maybe Vishnu can talk about that.
Yeah, so basically the alum we are discussing about, her name is Frincy. She's from our senior batch 2007-11, computer science ആയിരുന്നു ചേച്ചി. ചേച്ചിയുടെ കരിയർ പാത്ത് നോക്കിയാൽ she did her bachelor's in CS from SCT. Then she went on to do her MBA from IIM Kozhikode immediately after 2011-13. Then she had been working for a couple of years, I believe, in Dubai for one trading company, NMC Healthcare എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു കമ്പനിക്ക് വേണ്ടി വർക്ക് ചെയ്യായിരുന്നു. Then she moved to Canada to do her master's from University of Alberta in artificial intelligence and machine learning. And being the person she is, coming from that MBA background, she kind of climbed up the ladder quite fast, assumed leadership positions, and right now she is an ambassador for this organization called Women in AI. Women in AI Canada and the official ambassador ആണ് പുള്ളിക്കാരി. And if you follow her on LinkedIn, right, you'll be able to see that she has been doing a lot of this advocation for the women in AI in Canada and for women in general to come into this field and make this field popular among women. So she's a strong advocate for this field as well as for young women to come into this field. So we thought that this will be a helpful thing that we can kind of take her expertise, use our platform to kind of bring it to more students in SCT. So we kind of pitched this idea to her, and she was interested. She told that, okay, fine, guys, plan and let me know.
ഇപ്പൊ ആകെ പ്രശ്നം വെച്ചാൽ നമ്മുടെ IEEE SCT-ലെ പിള്ളേരാണ് പ്രശ്നം. അവരിപ്പോ ഡേറ്റ് തരുന്നില്ല. They have a lot of like ഒരു ടെക് ഫെസ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ട്, അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് നമ്മുടെ കൾട്ടിവേ ഫെസ്റ്റ് വരുന്നുണ്ട്. So I mean, we'll work it out, but
I think it's a really good thing. Actually, ഒരു കാര്യം ചെയ്യാവുന്നത്, അപ്പം നിങ്ങളുടെ അവിടെ ഫ്രണ്ട്സ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, like if you have people from your batchmates working there in India, അവരായിട്ട് കോർഡിനേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് that would be better. Let them work with the principal and then organize it out. In fact, I have നമ്മുടെ എന്തായാലും August 15 ഒരു ഫംഗ്ഷൻ ഉണ്ടാവും. So I don't know if you we try our level best to get the students. I mean, we can't try from here, but people in India, they try their level best to organize and get the students to attend that, right? Tech talk and all, right? So maybe maybe like combined, there are some options. So if you want, if you're interested, let me know. And right connect to Balanjit. He's working in AWS. He's like the biggest main coordinator for this August 15th event. Yeah, so he can help you out.
Yeah, I think that would be good. And we are looking at multiple avenues. Like we festival involve cheyarundi, IEEE involve cheyarundi, a student union involve cheyarundi. But the more avenues we have, like our message, we can get it to more people, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And if this format is easy, like tomorrow video and now every point bus Papanod bus
correct. Right.
Yeah,
I had another question about your.
Sure.
And to answer your question, Anand, the interview preparation. So we have been kind of helping put together some resources. The GRE preparation, TOEFL, specific resources. We have been able to share it to the students right now in college.
Right.
Which will be kind of helpful for them to kind of understand what are the different types of questions coming on GRE exams, SOP prepare, letter of recommendation prepare. So we've been doing some initial kind of few things in that respect, but we would like to kind of scale it up.
Right. So SOP is standard operation? Procedure. Oh, okay.
Statement of purpose.
Statement of purpose. Okay. Sorry.
When students come for their masters here in the US, right? All
right.
Yes. Statement of purpose. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So based on our experience, what we have done in the past, we are also trying to put together all those resources, kind of help them write a good SOP. Now that you obviously do have ChatGPT. But then ChatGPT cannot.
is amazing.
ChatGPT actually, that's one thing you might want to be careful about, because ChatGPT, now all colleges have ChatGPT. They have scanners which say that, okay, hey, this is generated by ChatGPT. So, that's a person.
So, one trick is ChatGPT generate ChatGPT it will generate something else. That's a good trick to use actually. Like if I'm wife so when we talk to recruiters, like our email I type put it into ChatGPT and make this better. Like words concise actually.
Actually, the most common pitfall there is that your personal story will get drowned out. University interview, they will be comparing our SOP with what we have to say. If you don't know what ChatGPT has written to you, our personal and I think that there also there is a gap. Yeah, you cannot rely on ChatGPT for everything.
Completely,
but yes, in certain cases, yes.
I actually wanted to come back to the question. It's about your current role. Like interesting. So it's a little different from what you've been doing for all this time, right?
Yes.
So
right. So my previous roles, right? 99% of the times I've been associated with delivering a service or a product, right? A code delivery. Deliver the architecture and make sure that people go to the architecture and deliver it, right? So my current role is a little bit more like pre-sales or sales oriented, I would say. So I kind of the role is basically, it's called sell with a partner, which basically means it's called co-selling also. So it basically means like I work with a partner company, like a SaaS partner company, and whatever opportunities originate from us and what opportunities the partner has, we share those opportunities and try to make a better together story and sell it to our customers, right? So very interesting premise. So enter role like I'm still on the technical side. So my role is to kind of let's say build out integrations with the SaaS company, right, and make sure that my customer can use that SaaS in the way they want to use it. Like for example, it's basically complementing the SaaS provider's capability.
So, a question so like the underlying answer what is Amazon's benefit of having another SaaS of selling another SaaS company, right? And what
Yeah.
is the
Yeah, good question. So at the end of the day, where does Amazon make money? AWS make money from? They make money from consumption on the cloud, right? At the end of the day, if I have more products, it doesn't matter whether it's the customer or the partner. If I'm able to get more products in there, that benefits me. And also, when a customer comes to the partner, that integration is already there. If he's not on Amazon and if he's migrating from on-prem, they seriously consider Amazon to migrate to Amazon compared to any other cloud provider because that integration is already there. What they're looking for is out of the box. The pattern is there. They can easily build it. So that's an incentive for a new customer to be on board Amazon. So it's like it's multiple benefits. And a third thing is like they don't really have to look for a new product or anything to sell. It's like it's already there. It's just an integration, right? It's not a lot, and the customer will do it. It's not Amazon who is going to do it, right? We are just providing them the path. So that way, it's like there are multiple benefits for Amazon.
Yeah,
Or any cloud provider, right? This is all cloud providers have this partner network.
Yeah, I was like, ഇത് ആദ്യം കേട്ടപ്പോൾ I was confused. ഇതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് എന്താ ആമസോൺ എന്താ ഇത്ര ഗുണം? Like what are you getting out of it? പിന്നെ ആലോചിച്ച് പിന്നെ you told me that the SaaS company is running it on AWS. അപ്പോൾ AWS കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നു, അങ്ങനെ indirectly you're making money there. So that is a very interesting business model. കേട്ടിട്ടില്ല.
Yeah, exactly.
Anjali, if you want to ask some personal questions.
Okay, I mean, ഞാൻ മനസ്സിൽ ആലോചിച്ച് പേഴ്സണൽ അല്ല, ലൈക്ക് ഇപ്പം ആനന്ദ് പറഞ്ഞില്ലേ, like when you get very comfortable at one place, you would probably like change avenues. അങ്ങനെ. So how comfortable are you at your current position? Like, do you have any...
We just started 8 months ago.
ഇപ്പം തുടങ്ങിയതേ ഉള്ളൂ. This is challenging because ഞാൻ ഇതുവരെ ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള വർക്കല്ല. So it's very, very challenging. I'm learning new things every day. പിന്നെ ഒരു പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് കമ്പനിക്ക് ഫസ്റ്റ് ടൈം വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാം. So I would say I am in a space where I am learning stuff, so which is interesting for me. Right now it's not boring, right? Because I'm learning. There is like okay, I'm using my wires a little bit. So it's keeping me engaged. So അതുകൊണ്ട് I'm okay. I'm good at this point. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
8 months ആയിട്ടുള്ളൂ എന്നുള്ള കാര്യം ഞാൻ സ്കിപ്പ് ചെയ്ത് മൈൻഡ്.
Yeah, that's fine.
The വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാത്ത ന്യൂറോൺസ് ഒക്കെ പൊടികെട്ടി എടുക്കുക.
ന്യൂറോൺസ് ഒക്കെ ഇവിടെ വർക്കിപ്പിക്കേണ്ടി വരുന്നുണ്ട്. മറ്റേ നമ്മൾ ചെയ്ത പണി തന്നെയാണല്ലോ ഇതിപ്പം. When you do something different, right? It's like you have to think differently.
ചേട്ടാ, ഡാലസിലെ ചേട്ടന്റെ വേറെ ബാച്ച്മേറ്റ്സ് അങ്ങനെ ഫ്രണ്ട്സ്, have you been able to meet any of our SCT alumni in Dallas?
Well, definitely. ഞാൻ എന്റെ ബാച്ചിലുള്ള എല്ലാവരുമായിട്ട് ലൈക്ക് we are still very much in touch. ഡാലസിൽ തന്നെ മൂന്ന് പേരുണ്ട് who are my classmates.
Oh, nice.
പിന്നെ എന്റെ batchmates ഉണ്ട്. I have 2-3 batchmates here in Dallas, like automobile, and of course we did meet before COVID.
Nice.
In Vegas നമ്മൾ meet ചെയ്തു, like our batch who are all in US. We met in Vegas. We had a good time. We are planning to meet again. 2020 meet 20 celebrated അപ്പോഴാണ് കോവിഡ് അടിച്ചത്. അത് കൂട്ടി ഇനി 25 നോക്കുകയാണ്, right? So yeah, so
ആനന്ദ് ബാച്ചാണോ ഷാജു ചെറിയാൻ?
ഷാജുവിന്റെ batch എന്റെ classmate.
Okay. Yeah,
he works for Lucid Motors.
Yeah, he's in San Jose.
He's in.
He started a grocery store in partnership with some other folks. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's another important thing, right? Like once you're in your, I don't know, like at certain point, you should always think about diversifying,
right?
Like start getting into some business or something, because I don't know how long you can keep doing this, right? So if there is a drive, you can do it to a certain point, but at some point try to get into a place where the your mates offer generate some revenue for you.
Correct, yeah.
That's I did a mistake, but I think you guys have a lot of time, so yeah, you guys can think about it. Yeah.
ഞാൻ ലൈക്ക് എനിക്ക് ഇൻവെസ്റ്റിംഗ് ഭയങ്കര ലൈക്ക് ഇറ്റ്സ് ലൈക്ക് എ ബിഗ് തിങ് ഫോർ മീ ലൈക്ക് സേവിങ് ഇൻവെസ്റ്റിംഗ് എന്നോ. അപ്പൊ എനിക്കൊരു സെഷൻ ചെയ്താൽ കൊള്ളാമെന്നുണ്ട്, ലൈക്ക് പാസീവ് ഇൻവെസ്റ്റിംഗ് ആൻഡ് ജനറേറ്റിംഗ് ഇൻകം outside of your work, right? Like കാരണം at the end, like ഒരു retirement 50-60 ഒക്കെ ആകുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് you shouldn't be working, your money should be working for you.
Money will be working for you, exactly.
That's the kind of mentality we need. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു സെഷൻ എപ്പോഴെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ആഗ്രഹമുണ്ട്. സോ എനിക്ക് ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ കൂടെ ഉള്ളത് ഇസ് ഐ തിങ്ക് ഐ ഹോപ്പ് ഇന്നത്തെ സെഷൻ ഞാൻ കുറേ ചോദിച്ചു. സോ what do you remember, like fond memories of SCT, like for Korea now, like when you think about it, like what do you think about?
Fond memories, I think first year നമ്മുടെ seniors in the like welcome ഇതുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. Like we had a blast. They welcomed us. അത് കൊള്ള batchmates dance and all, and then we did the meet 16 meet 97 or meet 98. Adina we did those are like really Kanakunnu avada illa avada nammal organize ചെയ്ത്. That was very very interesting. Pinna the best things I remember our tours.
IV industry visit,
college industry visit alla college tours.
Oh wait, what is that? ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു സാധനം ഇല്ലായിരുന്നു.
അല്ല you know, went to tours, S3 tours. We went for S6 tours with your batchmates. We went to we went to Kodaikanal, Ooty, Karagan. Discussion board. Like we went for a week.
Oh wow. അതൊക്കെ എന്താ who stopped that? കാരണം ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇൻഡസ്ട്രി വിസിറ്റ് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ, അതും അടുത്ത എവിടെയെങ്കിലും ഒക്കെ പോയിട്ട് വരും, അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ.
Shimi teacher is still there? Shimi teacher ഉണ്ടോ? She's part of mechanical engineering. Shimi.
എനിക്കറിയത്തില്ല.
Yeah, I think she's still there. Yeah, SCT. So yeah, she used to be. She was with us on all the trips. Yeah, but she's still. I think she's still there. അവരുടെ ചോദിച്ചതിനെ അറിയാം. Yeah, because see that brings at the end of the day ഒരു ക്ലാസ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ 60 പേര് കാണും. So you need to have a team building പോലെ you need to have a building exercise within your class, right? So that is very important. Not a togetherness feeling.
ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഒരു തമാശ പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഞങ്ങളുടെ ബാച്ചിൽ എല്ലാവരും യുണൈറ്റ് ആയത് ജൂനിയേഴ്സ് ആയിട്ട് ഒരു തല്ലുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അന്നേരം ഞങ്ങൾ എല്ലാവരും യുണൈറ്റഡ് ആയി.
നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നല്ലേ? നമ്മള് ജൂനിയേഴ്സ് നമ്മള് സീനിയേഴ്സുമായിട്ട് അടി ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു.
ആ വർഷം അന്നേരമാണ് ഞാൻ ശരിക്കും ബാച്ചിലൊരു യൂണിറ്റി കണ്ടത്.
Nice. Yeah, all those memories. See, our college memories that will always remain. Other golden period. Right? You can never get that back. And also the first 2-3 years when you work, right? You stay as a bachelor. Bachelors together. That's also an interesting time. Yeah.
I think we are almost at 1 hour. Anjali or Vishnu, if you have any closer questions, we can ask.
Like, do you have any plans to എനിക്കിത് എല്ലാ യുഎസിലുള്ള എല്ലായിടത്തുള്ള ക്വസ്റ്റൻ, do you have any plans to go back to India?
അത് പ്ലാൻ ഇടും പിന്നെ പോകും. It's all about personal, right? Like my daughter, എനിക്ക് ഒരു മോളേ ഉള്ളൂ. She's probably go to college next year. She's 17. Yeah, she's 17 or she'll turn 18 this year. Yeah. So I have only one kid. So like me and my wife, we may go back after 5 years, or we may not. It all depends on my daughter, like what she chooses. Of course, she's got to be living here and working here, but Arila, that's all I can say at this point. But I want to go back.
എൻ്റെ ഒരു പേഴ്സണൽ ഒപ്പീനിയൻ പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ എല്ലാവരും ഇങ്ങനെ പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്യും, ആരും പോകത്തില്ല. ഇവിടെ
എന്റെ ഒരു ഫ്രണ്ട് ഉണ്ട്, എന്റെ അടുത്ത് അടുത്ത വർഷം ഞാൻ പോവാണ്. 17 വർഷമായി പറയാനായിട്ട്. So yeah, it's like it's not easy. Yeah. So unless you have, even if you're going back to India, you need to have something to work on, right? Like something going for you. Yeah, if you have something going for you, yes, it makes sense.
പാർട്ടിംഗ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചേട്ടൻ നാട്ടിൽ എവിടെയാണ്? ട്രിവാൻഡ്രം ആണോ എവിടെയാണ് കേരളത്തിലെ?
ഞാൻ കൊച്ചിയാണ് ശരിക്കും നാട്. പക്ഷെ കോളേജ് മൊത്തം ആ സമയത്തായിരുന്നു ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്തുള്ളത്. പിന്നെ ഞാൻ 5ാം ക്ലാസ് വരെ ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്തായിരുന്നു. പിന്നെ then I actually studied all over India, ബാംഗ്ലൂര്, ഡൽഹിയിലൊക്കെ പഠിച്ചു. കാരണം അച്ഛന് മറ്റേ ബാങ്കിലായിരുന്നു വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. So I'm originally from കൊച്ചിൻ, ചേർത്തല എന്ന് പറയും. ഇപ്പൊ അവര് സെറ്റിൽ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന കൊച്ചി മരട് അവിടെ.
ചേർത്തല ആലപ്പുഴയല്ലേ?
ചേർത്തല ആലപ്പുഴയല്ല, ഇതിന്റെ രണ്ടിന്റെ ഇടയ്ക്ക് വരും. കൊച്ചിയുടെ ആലപ്പുഴയുടെ ഇടയ്ക്ക് വരും ചേർത്തല.
Yeah, I think നമുക്കെന്നാ we can slowly wrap up.
Sure.
I think it was a very nice session. Like നമ്മള് കുറച്ച് nostalgia ഒക്കെ ആയി പോയെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നല്ലേ?
It's all about nostalgia, right? When alumni talk, it's all about nostalgia.
Yeah. Now, even though നമ്മൾ കുറച്ച് ടെക്നിക്കൽ പോയെങ്കിലും I think it was more like ഒരു സീനിയർ ഒരു ചേട്ടനോട് സംസാരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു ഫീലിംഗ് ആണ്. That is really nice to have.
I really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah. We are very happy to have you here. I think let's wrap up and now 2 minutes we can debrief. Yeah. Thanks everyone. I'll just